Okay, so let's go through another test one, section one. This is from IELTS book number 8, and it's test number 1 from IELTS book number 8. Now, one thing you'll notice in this one is how we have multiple choice, right? It's very rare. It doesn't happen that often. It doesn't happen that often where you have multiple choice questions in section one. But when you do have multiple choice questions in section one, they usually are very straightforward. But you still have to keep an eye out for, when dealing with multiple choice questions, that when they speak, they may use synonym language for the correct answer choice. So you have to be aware of that as being a possibility. So we have 1 and 2 as being multiple choice. And then 3, 4, 5, fill the blank. Really straightforward. Address for number 3, postcode for number 4, phone number for number 5. So you got to be good at writing your numbers. And then we get to a table. And for tables, as I told you before, it's going to go in order. They're going to talk about June 5th, right? First, they're going to talk about June 5th. Then they're going to talk about the instrumental group, Guittarini. Then they're going to say the price, then the number of tickets. Then they're going to move down to June 17th. They might not say June 17th. They might say the next date, right? So be aware of that. Then they're going to talk about the singer. And the price includes something in the garden, right? So for number 6, you're listening for language that's connected to something in the garden. Something in the garden. And then we have the price per ticket, the number of tickets. Then they're going to come down to June 22nd. Then they're going to say something about an event with Anna Ventura. So this woman, Anna Ventura, is part of the event. So you're listening for something, or she is the event, right? But they're going to say something about her, all right? And then we have the price, the number of tickets that we have to deal with. And so, sorry about that. We had a mix-up with, or something happened with our mic for a second there. So sorry about that. And then we're going to go down to June 23rd. And it's going to jump over to Spanish dance guitar. And then we're going to get into the price per ticket. That's going to be a number as an answer. Number 9, it's going to be a number. All right, we're dealing with a lot of numbers in this one. And remember, as I told you, when you're dealing with a lot of numbers, you have to be aware that they are going to, very often, they will give you more than one number to trick you. So you're going to hear a lot of that here. Now, for this one, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and go directly all the way from number 1 to number 10. So it's going to give you a good idea to see how you're doing with section 1 of the test. We're going to go all the way from number 1 to number 10. So if you want to go through it with us, you can. Otherwise, you can stop the tape and work on it yourself in your own book. And then you can listen to our analysis of it as we go through it one by one. Okay? All right. So let's go ahead and get started.
Cambridge IELTS 8 by University of Cambridge IELTS Examinations, published by Cambridge University Press. This recording is copyright. CD 1. Test 1. You will hear a number of different recordings, and you will have to answer questions on what you hear. There will be time for you to read the instructions and questions, and you will have a chance to check your work. All the recordings will be played once only. The test is in 4 sections. At the end of the test, you will be given 10 minutes to transfer your answers to an answer sheet. Now turn to Section 1. Section 1. You will hear a conversation between 2 friends called George and Nina about a summer music festival. First, you have some time to look at questions 1 and 2.
All right, so you see they're going to go through they're going to do 1 and 2 first. Here, they're doing 1 and 2 first. And then they're going to give you another pause and then do 3 through 10. So it's not always divided up evenly, like first look at 1 through 5, then 6 through 10. Here they're going to do 1 and 2. And I know on one practice test I heard they didn't even, this was amazing, but I think they didn't give a break in section 1. I'm not sure, but let's keep going.
You will see that there is an example that has been done for you. On this occasion only, the conversation relating to this will be played first.
Hi, George. Glad you're back. Loads of people have phoned you.
Really?
I felt just like your secretary.
Sorry. I went into the library this afternoon to have a look at a newspaper and I came across something really interesting.
What? A book?
No, a brochure from a summer festival, mainly Spanish music. Look, I've got it here.
George says that he found a brochure from a festival, so B has been circled as the answer. Now we shall begin. You should answer the questions as you listen, because you will not hear the recording a second time. Listen carefully and answer questions 1 and 2.
Hi, George. Glad you're back. Loads of people have phoned you.
Really?
I felt just like your secretary.
Sorry. I went into the library this afternoon to have a look at a newspaper and I came across something really interesting.
What? A book?
No, a brochure from a summer festival, mainly Spanish music. Look, I've got it here.
Spanish music? I really love the guitar. Let's have a look. So what's this group, Guittarini?
They're really good. They had a video with all the highlights of the festival at a stand in the lobby to the library, so I heard them. They play fantastic instruments, drums and flutes and old kinds of guitars. I've never heard anything like it before.
Sounds great.
Okay, shall we go then? Spoil ourselves?
Yes, let's.
The only problem is there aren't any cheap seats. It's all one price.
Well, in that case, we could sit right at the front. We'd have a really good view.
Yeah, though I think that if you sit at the back, you can actually hear the whole thing better.
Yes. Anyway, we can decide when we get there.
All right, so let's look at these first two with the multiple choice questions. All right, the correct answer for number 1 is B, and the correct answer for number 2 is B. All right, now, like I've told you with multiple choice questions, when they were talking about number 1, you heard them say something about festival, you heard them something about music, but the key thing is you have to focus on what's the keyword language in the question. Right? In the question. It says in the lobby of the library, George saw. George saw. What did George see? Right? So you're listening for which answer choice is connected to what he saw. What did he see? But you heard some information about music. You heard some information about the festival. Okay? Choice number 2, correct answer is B. And for number 2, they used synonym language. Right? He said, we're listening, the woman said, what about sitting up front? But we don't care what she said. Because our question says, why does George want to sit in the back? Why does George want to sit in the back? And he said he wants to hear better. All right? Better is a synonym for the word saying hear better is synonym for saying hear clearly. Okay? So again, we're using synonym language there. We're using language that has similar meaning here. All right? And so that's why our number 2 is B. So I'll let you listen to it very quickly so you can get an idea of what we're talking about.
Hi, George. Glad you're back. Loads of people have phoned you.
Really?
I felt just like your secretary.
Sorry. I went into the library this afternoon to have a look at a newspaper and I came across something really interesting.
What? A book?
No, a brochure from a summer festival, mainly Spanish music. Look, I've got it here.
Spanish music? I really love the guitar. Let's have a look. So what's this group, Guittarini?
They're really good. They had a video with all the highlights of the festival at a stand in the lobby to the library, so I heard them. They play fantastic instruments, drums and flutes and old kinds of guitars. I've never heard anything like it before.
Sounds great.
Okay, shall we go there?
Great.
I'm sorry, I gave you the wrong answer for number one. Number one answer is C, not C. C, not B. I don't know why I wrote down B on my paper. Correct answer for number one is C, everybody. C. All right, that's what you have to put down. He went in the lobby and he saw a video about the festival.
Okay, shall we go then? Spoil ourselves?
Yes, let's.
The only problem is there aren't any cheap seats. It's all one price.
Well, in that case, we could sit right...
All right, let's go back to number one. I want to point something out to you. For number one, there's something I want to point out to you.
Hi, George. Glad you're back. Loads of people have phoned you.
Really?
I felt just like your secretary.
Sorry. I went into the library this afternoon to have a look at a newspaper and I came across something really interesting.
What? A book?
No, a brochure from a summer festival, mainly Spanish music. Look, I've got it here.
Spanish music? I really love the guitar. Let's have a look. So what's this group, Guittarini?
They're really good. They had a video with all the highlights of the festival at a stand in the lobby to the library, so I heard them. They play fantastic instruments, drums and flutes and old kinds of guitars. I've never heard anything like it before.
Right, see there we heard the word group, which is in choice A. We heard the word group, but he didn't mention anything that he saw a group. Right, but this is what they do. They throw out language that you hear in different answer choices, but they don't connect it to the keyword language of the question.
A video with all the highlights of the festival at a stand in the lobby to the library, so I heard them. They play fantastic instruments, drums and flutes and old kinds of...
Right, again, we heard something about instruments, but he didn't say that's what he saw. He said he saw a video about the festival. Right, so this is what they do with multiple choice questions. They play around with it.
Spoil ourselves?
Yes, let's.
The only problem is there aren't any cheap seats. It's all one price.
Well, in that case, we could sit right at the front. We'd have a really good view.
Yeah, though I think that if you sit at the back, you can actually hear the whole thing better.
Yes. Anyway, we can decide when we get there.
And so they're giving you this time to look through the questions. We've already done that. We know number 3 is going to be an address, a number, or a street name. Number 4 is going to be a postcode, a number you have to write down. Number 5 is going to be a telephone. Whenever you're dealing with numbers, you got to worry about them saying double this, double that, double 5, double 6.
Now listen and answer questions 3 to 10.
So will you fill in the form, or shall I?
I'll do it. Name, George O'Neill. Address, 48 North Avenue, Westsea. Do you remember our new postcode? Still can't remember it.
Just a minute. I've got it written down here. WS6 2YH. Do you need the phone too?
Please. I'm really bad at numbers.
01674 553 242. So let's book 2 tickets for Guittarini.
Okay. If you're sure $7.50 each is all right. How do you feel about the singer?
I haven't quite decided. But I've noticed something on the booking form that might just persuade me.
What's that then?
Free refreshments.
Really?
Yes, look here. Sunday, 17th of June. Singer. Ticket, £6, includes drinks in the garden.
Sounds like a bargain to me.
Yes. Let's book 2 tickets for that. So, what else? I'm feeling quite keen now. How about the pianist on the 22nd of June?
Anna Ventura? I've just remembered that's my evening class night.
That's okay. I'll just have to go on my own. But we can go to the Spanish dance and guitar concert together, can't we?
Yes, I'm sure Tom and Kieran would enjoy that too. Good heavens, £10.50 a ticket. I can see we're going to have to go without food for the rest of the week. We'll need to book 4.
Wish we were students. Look, children, students, and senior citizens get a 50% discount on everything.
If only.
That is the end of section 1. You now have half a minute to check your answers.
All right, so let's go ahead and go through the answer choices. All right, number 3 was 48 North Avenue. Number 4 was WS6 2YH. Number 5 was 016 74553. Number 6 was drinks, or you could put refreshments. They literally said you could have drinks in the garden. Number 7 was probably the most difficult one because they said, what about Anna Ventura? And then she said, who's a pianist? Right, so the answer you will put down for number 7 is pianist. And you can see it spelled right here. Pianist, pianist. Number 6 was drinks or refreshments. Number 7 was a phone number. 4 was a postcode. 3 was an address. Number 8 was £10.50. Number 9 was 4. And number 10 was 50%. Okay? And so when we're going through this one here, this one was a little bit different because they gave us a mixture here. They gave us a little bit of multiple choice. Then they gave us some normal fill the blank. Then they gave us a table to go through. But always what you have to be aware of is that even in section 1, there are going to be some questions that may be too difficult for you because they maybe are designed for somebody that can get a 9 or an 8 in listening. Like, for example, spelling the word pianist. A lot of students will miss that because what they did is they said the name Anna Ventura first, then they gave the answer the pianist. Right? So again, sometimes they will switch the order to try to mess with you in terms of being able to tell when the answer is being said. Okay? All right, but good luck on section 1, everyone. And now let's move on to doing some section 2 examples.